Now, at the end of the day, being a barber is a real good hustle when you're inside of prison. Believe it or not, they make awesome money. It's a way for you to get stuff when you ain't got access to it from the streets, stuff like that. But at the same time, that same hustle, you got to make sure you play the role the right way. Because you fuck around showing favoritism to someone or letting somebody, get ahead of someone else and not waiting their turn when they're supposed to, you can end up getting the shit end of the stick. For this video here, I'm going to be telling y'all about a time that the barber got wet up because he let someone cut the line inside the barbershop.
Haha, I'm the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. You get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I want to tell y'all, appreciate y'all rocking with me, watching the channel. You already know I'm going to keep on coming with this content for y'all. Nothing but that real spill going to come from over here. All right? Today I'm going to be talking about a time when the barber himself got wet up because he decided to let somebody cut the line and get their hair cut before people who were actually waiting their turn. For people who've been to prison before, y'all already know the barbershop is a spot where you can get wet yourself and where you can wet somebody. It is a blind spot, okay? That's why normally when barbershop is open, they have officers that are walking around, that are guarding the canteen windows, paying attention to everybody walking around, and then they pop their head in every once in a while and they come inside the barbershop to make sure there's not that many people in there because they know you can get wet and they won't know who did it. Every institution I've been to, the barbershop was a blind spot, okay? And you think about it, say you go to a camp and the barbershop has 3 chairs in it, right? They're only going to want like 7 people in there at a time. All right? They're going to want the 3 barbers who are standing there cutting everybody's hair. And then they're going to want 1 per chair. That's 6. And then they usually have a set of clippers sitting there on the side with a toothbrush and like some liquid so you can wipe off the clipper from the guy who used it before you. And then you'll be standing over there looking on the mirror and you got to shave your own. That's if you're getting, if you're doing your facial hair. You're not getting a haircut. So, normally they want a little amount of people in there at a time. But now, let's say there is 7 people in there. 3 barbers, 3 people getting their haircut, and the person that's shaving. At the end of the day, if someone gets wet in there, off rip, they're not going to think it's the barbers. The barbers can literally hit you up and hand that knife off to somebody, or just throw the knife in the corner over there. And the dude will run out all wet up and everything, and if he don't tell, they won't even know the barber did it. And the officers are not going to suspect it to be the barber. You feel me? That's how it goes. They try to stay on top of it, but at the end of the day, they can't always catch everything. Okay? And for people who are gang members that are watching this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because at the end of the day, if you was in some type of war, you was in some type of beef or conflict with another organization, whenever you or your brothers went to the barbershop, y'all had to be on your P's and Q's. Or y'all probably was at a camp where people got hit up and wet for caught slipping at the barbershop. You sitting there getting your hair cut, ain't thinking nothing of it, talking to the barber, someone walk in, you don't peep it. You don't peep if they're turning you around in the chair, and you don't peep that dude right there and you get your whole shit ripped open. It happens. It does happen. I had a homeboy of mine that was a blood that got caught slipping and got wet up inside of the damn barbershop. You feel me? Believe it or not. So I know it goes down in the barbershop. So what happened was on this specific day, it was barbershop and canteen time for the dorm, right? Now, like I said, there's only so many people that can be inside of the barbershop at a time. And a lot of people don't want to wait in line due to the simple fact that you're waiting outside the door. You're waiting outside in the hot sun. You're literally standing there baking. You feel me? And down here in Florida, it is real hot. So you'll have people that come, whether they're in your dorm, whether they're in a dorm passing by, or whether they're just violating and they're mobbing the pound. They'll come, and since they're in a rush, you know, they don't feel like they have time to wait in line, because then they're going to get caught violating, being in the wrong spot. So they're going to off-rip try to get in front. They're going to off-rip try to cut the line. You may be standing in line for 20, 30 minutes. Every like 10 minutes, someone goes in, the line moves up. Next thing you know, someone will walk by that ain't even waiting in line, that ain't in your quarter, nothing, that'll walk into the barbershop. You feel me? You got to go address that. You got to walk over there and open the thing like, hey, bro, hell no, you got to wait or else he just cut you. You feel me? And some institutions, the line isn't right near the door. Like, for instance, when I was at Charlotte, the door was like, I'd say 20 feet away. You weren't allowed near the barbershop door. You had to stand across from the door, form a line. And you literally got to walk like 20 feet to get in. So you could be talking to someone in line like this, and then turn your head for 1 second, and swoop, someone walk in the barbershop over there. So it's like, you got to be on top of that, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, people don't want to wait. So on this specific day, someone ended up going inside the barbershop, and me, I didn't even know what was going on. You feel me? But the person that went in the barbershop ended up, you know, I guess getting put in the chair before someone who was waiting. Which a lot of times, the barbers do that. And a lot of people let it slide because they respect the hustle. You see what I'm saying? You may be standing in line out there in the sun, you know, but they cut hundreds of hair for free daily. You feel me? It ain't like the officers and them are paying these inmates. You know, but then you'll have someone who's in a rush that walks in and wants to holler at that specific barber, just like you do on the streets when you walk into a barbershop. If you go to the same barbershop all the time, you know your barber. You're going to go in, let your barber know you're here, and if anybody else asks you, you're going to be like, nah, I'm waiting on such and such. You're going to let them know, oh, I'm here for such and such. You know what I'm saying? So people will walk in and go to holler at the individual that's cutting the hair and let them know, like, you know, in order to do this, they're paying them. So you can't expect the person who's cutting hair, hundreds of heads a day, you feel me, for free, to not let someone cut the line for a hot sandwich, a meatball sandwich, or 18-wheeler, or whatever it is you have at that institution, whatever it is that they want. You understand? That people don't want to wait in that line. They'll go in there and be like, oh, I got you for $5 right now. I'll buy you lunch. And then next thing you know, the canteen window's right out there. So they'll literally hit the canteen window first. Get fucking Chipotle burger, a Coke, a bag of gummy bears, whatever they get, and come in there like, boom. You know what I'm saying? Look what I got you, boy. What's up? And then, you know, they standing there for hours. That's a free meal. They gonna jump on that. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna risk you coming in there and them cutting your hair first and then you hitting the canteen line, unless that's the easiest way that they can get away with letting you cut people. You see what I'm saying? Letting you skip without them being seen as the flawed one towards whoever waiting. You feel me? That's how it goes. So if they come in there empty-handed and they're like, oh, I'll hit the window or whatever, and ain't no one else came in yet, they'll say, go ahead, get in. And you know, and they'll act like, oh, we didn't know he wasn't next in line out there. We don't know who's supposed to be next out there waiting. And then they go to cutting the hair. In all reality, they did that. They could see out that door. They could see who's waiting. You know what I'm saying? Just think of how many times, if the people out there ain't paying attention, when one goes out, one goes in. You see, that's how it's supposed to go. So if you got people out there that ain't paying attention, they're talking in line with their homeboys and shit, lollygagging and hanging out, they don't peep that the door done, you know, opened and someone left. You feel me? The barber's got to go out there and be like, next cut, you see? So they go to the door so many times that they peep the line. They see who's waiting. They know who's letting who cut. They already know who they're cutting. They peep all this, you know? And don't get me wrong, like I said, it's a hustle. At the end of the day, you can't knock someone's hustle. You can't hate that someone's doing that, okay? There's been times that I've paid a barber and cut the line. You see what I'm saying? But people knew how my barber was. People knew that my barber would just straight up buzz your head and give your ass a straight, ugly ass military buzz cut. Or he'd actually, you know, hit you the right way if you pay them $2 or something like that. You feel me? And I was on some shit like I didn't need to pay to get no haircut. But I was a somebody on the compound, so I can't walk around with that fresh buzz cut like they give you when you first go to prison. You feel me? I couldn't walk around like that due to the fact that I got my own standards, you know what I'm saying? My own, you know what I'm saying? I gotta feel like, you know, I know that I can afford the haircut, you know, so it's like, shit, I'm gonna do it regardless if I need to or not. You feel me? And even if it wasn't the same barber, I got my hair cut by plenty of people. You know, I let them know, hey, man, you hit me right. If I did wait in line and can't tell, oh, you hit me right, I'll pop up tomorrow and I'll drop you off $2-3. You know, like I let them know. You feel me? I want my shit to look straight. Got female officers. You know what I'm saying? You go to Vizzo, you see people. You know, you go to Vizzo and you got people's family members that are with other inmates coming there checking you out. You know, you want to look decent. You know, I'm not finna look like, you know, just let myself go while I'm in here. If I could, you know, manage to keep it up, I'm going to keep it up. You feel me? So, regardless, what happened was is that the barber let the inmate cut the line out there or whatever. So, the person who got cut in line was like, oh, hell nah, you feel me? And he was in the line. He was the next to the door. You feel me? Because that's who it's really on. You know, even though they're cutting the whole line, depending on what's going on, you know, who it is, you got some loudmouth people that go like, oh, hell nah, bro, and go and speak up for the person. Bro, you're supposed to be next, bro. You go. You know, you got some people that are going to, like, step in and because they're standing in line also. If you think about it, there's 12 of us in line. You know, if someone cuts, then it's still 12 of us in line. Instead, that person could have went in the front and there'd be 11 of us. So the line ain't moving as long as people are cutting. So you're going to have people that stand up. This situation here, the person in the front was who was next, you know what I'm saying? And then he went up and was like, oh, hell no. And I guess he said something to him. I guess the dude told him, nah, bro, he been paid. He had next regardless. I was waiting on him. Like if he had an appointment lined up. Like, oh, he was supposed to be here at this time and blah, 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 blah. Well, the person who he ended up cutting didn't take it that well. So I guess they're in there arguing and everything. And like I said, every one of us in line, we don't really know this is going on. You know, we don't know if the dude who walked in, you know, walked in to get a shave, you know, because people are walking in and out that needed to shave themselves way quicker. You see, when you pay $2-3, them the guards don't really like you to walk in with canteen because they know you're paying to get a better cut from these individuals. You see what I'm saying? They don't be liking that shit, you know. And then when you pay the barber, he won't just, you know, hit your hair up. If you got some hair here, he'll hit you up like a real barbershop will. You see what I'm saying? So you ain't got to go over there and do it yourself. Instead, you got someone else shaving all your stuff for you as well, lining you up, giving you an edge up, which is what they call it, sculpting. They don't like you to be sculpting. That's what the officers call it. That means when you get a tape, it's sculpted. So that's what they say. Oh, you're sculpted. Go back, shave your head. You know, at certain camps, the officers don't allow that shit. Like up in the Panhandle, they ain't finna let it slide. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, oh, you're sculpted. Go back and then get a 0. That's what they'll make you do. You feel me? So when the person went in, everybody just thought that person went inside and just started doing the shave, like I said. You feel me? Next thing you know, they're in there arguing or whatever it was. We see more than 3 inmates at a time get up out the barbershop and like come out the thing. So everyone's like, oh shit, look, all 3 of them are done. You feel me? Go in there, and what it was is one of the dudes who got up out of the thing, which I seen him. Once the 3 people walked out and I seen the dude who was in the front of the line, I knew something happened. You know, you could peep the movements of everybody. They weren't like just walking out casually. Them boys was like, oh, they got up out of there. And what it was is the other 2 dudes didn't want nothing to do with it. So they got up out of there, and then the other guy who I seen was the guy that was just in the front of the line. So I know he didn't get a cut in time, you feel me? So I'm thinking maybe they robbed the dude that cuts hair or whatever, you know, because people will come in there with knives, rob you for your watch. You know, you might have an MP. They might want something you got, bro, and they'll rob you. You see what I'm saying? So we didn't really know what happened, but then we went in, that barber came out, drenched in blood, hollering. That boy was wet. He came out, and once he walked out the door, he like stumbled up on the ground, rolled on his back, and was just leaking. Officer runs up, everything, starts telling everybody, back to your door, screaming and everything, starts screaming over the radio, da 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 da, this and that, and they come in there, and the barber got wet, you see? And all this happened because he let someone cut, you feel me? He let someone skip the line of everyone who was waiting in line in the barbershop. Now, Who knows how he responded when the guy addressed it? Who knows if he was disrespectful? Who knows if he, like, you know, was like, I don't care, it is what it is, he's already here, you're gonna have to wait, or whatever, you know? Because the barbers usually don't want conflict inside the barbershop. But I'll tell you what, for anyone who was a barber inside of prison, in the actual barbershop, has seen some shit throughout their bid. Literally. Because either they seen it in the barbershop, or they seen it outside the barbershop door, because the canteen window's right there and everything. You feel me? So they've seen some stuff. And I know this because I seen a lot of shit happen by the canteen and barbershop throughout my bid, and I didn't work in the barbershop. So it's like they worked right there where they could see it, majority shit go down. You know, people come up in there, hey, what's up? Hey, you ain't seen what's it called today? Or, hey, brother, hey, did such and such dorm come out yet today? When's the last time such and such dorm came out to get a haircut? Like, you know, people want to know information. People gonna open that bitch just to see who's in there. Walk up in there real quick just to see who's in them chairs and walk out. Them barbers gonna be cutting hair and looking like, oh shit, like something's about to go down. Like you can sense it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is, you feel me? And I know this because the barbers know that shit's gonna go down, and they kind of like get, you know, a pass on a lot of shit because they're the barber. You feel me? Now, if they do something to where there ain't no saving them, of course, there isn't no, you know, there isn't no special treatment. They'll get dealt with as well. But a lot of times, a lot of it's going to brush up because they're the barber. You know what I'm saying? And when the pound's locked down and stuff like that, the guards will go grab the barbers and bring them to the other the other dorms to cut hair. They'll bring them with the clippers and bring everybody into the day room or everybody somewhere and to where you can get a haircut, to where they're not opening the pound for barbershop and canteen. So instead, they'll go get the barbers out of their dorm and bring them to open up the little thing to get the little lock box with all the clippers in it, and then they'll bring them there to cut hair. And I could tell by how they act when they are in different dorms. You know, they're uptight. Their vibe is totally different than it is when they're inside that barbershop. That barbershop to them is their domain. They're comfortable with it. They're every day there. You know what I'm saying? So when they're in a dorm cutting hair, their vibe's totally different. I've chopped it up with a bunch of them before too, and they just act different than they act inside of the barbershop. You feel me? Now, I want to know what y'all think. Do y'all think the dude was wrong for wetting the dude? For letting the individual skip him, even though if that guy was paying and this guy wasn't? Do y'all think the barber himself was wrong for doing it in the first place? Or do you think, nah, that's how he makes his money? You know, because if you think about it, if he makes his money by having people pay to cut the line, you know, then his income is reflected on other people allowing someone else to try them. Because if you're the one waiting in that line and the person comes in to skip you, you know what I'm saying? Even if he's paying that dude, you know, that dude's trying you. He's skipping you. You got to stand out here in this hot-ass sun, you know, even if it ain't with the barbershop. If you're in the chow hall, if you're in line at medical, if you're in line at chapel, someone cutting you in line, you know, that's a big thing to, you know, let just slide. You got to, like, address it like, oh, hell no, you feel me? Like, what you got going on? You feel like you got to make it known, because you don't know if someone's doing that just to test you, to think you're sweet, to think, oh man, look, watch me try, bro. You know, and other people that are watching on the outside looking in, that don't even know you, that you don't even know, might just be standing in line and see this dude walking by the line, like, look at this guy about to cut, and go right up there and he cuts you, and then they're gonna be like, dude, soft as hell, bro. He just let this dude cut everybody. You see? So like, who do you think was wrong? I'm going to be real. My honest opinion. Okay? Me, I feel like the barber, he got what he deserved. I mean, I don't know what words were brought back and forth to where he got stabbed, you know, but I feel like if I'm out here waiting in this hot-ass sun, I'm waiting to get a haircut, you know, and next thing you know, people are cutting me in line, and when I go in there, I find out you're letting bruh cut me because he's paying you. So it's like, all right, he's giving you $3 to skip me in line. So you make it $3. You know what I'm saying? You're getting paid to let this dude try me. You feel me? I'm going to look at it like, I'm not going to ask you for $1.50. You know, I'm not going to ask you for half of that money. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, where my $1.50 at? No, instead, I'm going to push the issue about bruh cutting me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take it out on the individual who's cutting me. You feel me? Like, boy, well, your ass better go hit that window and get another $2 then. It's like you're buying my spot. Like, straight up, because I can't look weak and vulnerable because that's the barber's hustle. You see what I'm saying? That's why, in order to avoid these certain situations and avoid, you know, people trying you, even though they might not be purposely trying you, they're in a rush and they're paying, you're not paying, so they're going to feel like they're entitled to, you know, a favoritism just due to the fact that you're not bringing anything to the table. You're getting just a straight cut that they do for free all the time. You feel me? This dude's paying, so it's kind of like how they got with Halloween Horror Nights and shit like that. When you pay to go to Halloween Horror Nights and you got to pay a couple $100, but then they got the couple $100 for the skip pass. You know how it's like, oh, you get to skip the line if you pay for an extra $100, right? But everybody pays for the skip pass, so you're still waiting in that long-ass line as well. You see? Now, there isn't going to be no other line when it comes to the barbershop like that. There's going to be that one solo line, and then all these people are paying, or they're not. Now, you got some people that do it the right way. They'll be standing in line out there in the hot-ass sun, and they're still willing to pay. You see what I'm saying? That's what I used to do. Me, I would go there, post up in the line, you know, unless I was in a rush, of course. But if I'm not in a rush, shit, I'm glad we ain't locked down. I'm glad we not in the quad right now. I'm glad we on the pound vibing and shit. I want to get some sun. You feel me? I'll post up out in this bitch, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time that I'm willing to stand here doesn't mean I'm willing to let someone just cut me. Because I feel like you're trying me, especially if I'm next. If I'm the next one at the door, there's no way that I could just let you cut me. I could be standing there talking to someone like this, and someone go to walk in that barbershop line, I'm walking in right after him. Mid-conversation, like, just because, hey man, check me out, bro, ain't none of that. You feel like I gotta make it known because people tend to think different things just from what they see from their point of view, you feel me? And I can't have someone looking at me like some type of way, you feel me? So I feel like with the barber getting wet up over the situation, I feel like the dude who wet him wasn't wrong. You know what I'm saying? But the barber himself having a hustle wasn't wrong either for having a hustle. You know? The guy who cut him wasn't wrong either because he was paying for his spot. You know what I'm saying? In the chair. He didn't pay for the spot in the line. He paid for his spot to sit in that chair right now. See, so there was rights and wrongs to all of it. You feel me? Like, the guy who hit the barber up, he wasn't wrong for sticking up for himself or whatever about being cut. You know what I'm saying? Should he have wet the barber? The way it went down, I feel like if you solemnly know that the barber is the one that intentionally made bruh cut you, like, oh yeah, come on, like, fuck bruh, and this and that, or if he's the one mouthing off when you're confronting him, then yes. But me, I feel like it should have been taken more out on the individual who cut the line. You see? But it isn't all his fault if you got the barber agreeing or saying, yeah, get me this in front of the canteen window, bro. I got you right now. Just get this when you're done. You know? So everybody could have went about it the wrong way, and certain things could have went away to where it could have been a different scenario. You know? Maybe the dude who cut the line could have got wet up, or, you know, or could have got just beat up, or could have just bought the spot in line, you know, or whatever it may have been. But it's prison, y'all. So in prison, everybody wants to be the big dog. Everybody wants to feel like they're the alpha male. Everybody wants to feel like anything they're doing is trying someone, or anything that's being done is trying them. So by him going in that barbershop, in his mind, he probably felt like both of them straight tried him, or didn't even think of the other guy. He probably just felt like that barber seen me out here from as many times he pokes his head out the damn door, and you could see through the glass part in the door. He seen me out here, so he probably felt like it was a straight up mano-a-mano insult by trying to cut him in line. That's why he took it out on the barber. You feel me? And let me say this. When you're in them barbershops and you talk to them barbers, you could see the way them barbers carry themselves. They carry themselves like they top dogs. Like, they be feeling theyself and shit while they cutting hair, and they act like, you know, like, they will carry theyself like they are a OG, when really they're a barber. You feel me? And I met a bunch of them that were cool as hell, you feel me? But I used to ride on one of my homeboys that worked in the barbershop, and I used to tell him he was full of himself. He was full of shit, you feel me? He would act like he was like a top-of-the-line gangster, like bitches respect him. But no, he was the barber. He was the best person that cut hair on the pound. So people didn't respect him. They respected what he was good at. You see, that's what it was. But he'd carry himself like, you know, like they know what time it is. Like, yeah, if they get you off the pound, everyone else is going to be getting them fucking zeros again. That's literally what it was. You see what I'm saying? There was a couple of them that had respect, you know, that fought a couple people and stuff like that. But it's very rare when you see a real street dude, like a goon, a gang member, and shit like that, to be the barber. It's always someone that's staying out of sight, out of mind. They want to stay to themselves. They're not really into no shit, you know what I'm saying? They just, you know, but you'll see them kind of like in people's business and walking around acting like they're a part of it, but really they don't be. You see what I'm saying? That's how it was with the inmates that I came across while I was locked up down here in Florida. You feel me? I can't speak for everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And by that barber being wet, that had the other two barbers that was in there, boy, walking on eggshells. Them boys was spooked. Straight up. They didn't even hire another barber right away. They had it to where there was an empty chair after that. So then the guard had to do an extra check over and over again to make sure there wasn't nobody sitting in there in that extra chair just chopping it up, which there was, like clockwork. The guard probably had to run 50 people off a day that would come in there and see it's an empty chair with no barber and just sit there and chop it up. Because this is another thing that I got to make sure I mention. The barbershop has AC in it. We don't have AC in our dorms. We don't have air conditioning. You see what I'm saying? We have AC confinement, but that don't mean air conditioning. That's administrative confinement. So for like past videos, y'all hear me speak on AC confinement. That doesn't mean air conditioning. We do not have air conditioning in our main camps down here in the state of Florida. Out of however many camps there are in Florida, there's only a handful of them that have AC, and that's the private camps. Now, there is AC in the VP, which is the visitation park, but that's because your family and them come. That AC is for your family. You see, there is AC inside of like medical, you know, chapel, because a lot of things in there got to run with the electric, and it's got to, you know, they got it to where they got staff, they got nurses, they got pastors, they got church workers, like real people that work on the streets that come there, you know what I'm saying? So they need AC in these certain places. The barbershop has AC in it. So people be so damn hot that they'll just won't even be skipping the line. They'll just go in the barbershop and just stand there just to post up, just so they ass ain't out there in that hot ass sun. That's how hot it is down here in Florida. You feel me? And guards got to run him off all the time. But at the same time, you got two canteen windows going on different sides of the building. Like, you might have the barbershop door right there, and then a canteen window like 5 feet to the left of it. But then around that building, all the way on the back end of the building, is the other canteen window. So you got a guard that is walking back and forth from this canteen window around the building all the way to that canteen window, back and forth doing his little security line perimeter check while you're at canteen, and then he goes and checks the barbershop every once in a while. So you can't really expect them to catch everything that goes down. And the barbershop is a blind spot. The canteen windows is a blind spot. People get left slumped right there at the canteen windows. You see, now they're adding more cameras in Florida prison than they had. When I first went to prison, they didn't have cameras. They started adding cameras as I was in prison. But now they're adding them everywhere. You feel me? Like, in a lot of blind spots as well. First, they just brought them into the dorms and put them to where they could see everywhere in the dorm. You see, that's how they did it. But not in your cell. You know, shit like that. So, you got to expect the worst when it comes to being a barber, because a motherfucker might come in there and want a haircut, and then you tell him no. You see what I'm saying? You tell him no, I got a line out there, you get in line. He's going to feel insulted and might want to stab you over it. Take it, for instance, with the barber who got cut. He could have told the dude that came in there no, Nah, bro, I got a line out there, bro. You're going to have to wait in line. And bruh feel like, what you mean, bruh? So you telling me these people who ain't got no money got more of a say-so than me, so it's like my money ain't good enough? That's basically how he'll take it. And then he could have wet the barber. So it kind of puts you in a messed up spot. Like if you say, yeah, come on, then the person he's cutting might want to wet you. And then if you say, nah, it ain't happening, I got people, then he might want to wet you. You got some people that'll go in there and demand a haircut right now and they ain't paying shit. Like that's how it goes, bro. And there's nothing you can really do about it. You feel me? So that's what happened when the barber got wet. You feel me? And it was all because he let someone cut the line. And they used to let people cut the line all the time. It ain't like this was the only time they did it. They literally used to let people cut the line all the time. Now, it would have been different if they never really did it, because then it's like, okay, look what happens. That's why they don't do it. But no, it wasn't like that. They straight up do that shit all the time. It depends on who it is in line that allows being cut. It depends on who it is that's trying to cut someone. He might not even want to cut no one. He might just go wait in line, you know, and it depends on the barber. You know what I'm saying? And I've been in the barbershop multiple times and seen where the barbers stand there and cut hair. Behind them is like a counter with a mirror. The walls are like a whole mirror. So when people are done getting cut, they can go look and shit. And I've seen behind the barbers, they got their own like piles of canteen. So them guards know what's going on. Them guards know they're hustling. They know that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You walk in there and you like look, and then you'll see 3 dudes standing up behind them. One might have 5 items on the counter, and the other one might have 15. The other one might have a whole mountain, whole 50 pack sitting there. So then you know, okay, a lot of people are going to him. He must be the rawest. So it's like, that's their hustle. So he ain't wrong for having a hustle, but at the same time, it could be a tricky hustle, man. It can backfire on you. You know what I'm saying? And by that dude getting wet over that shit, I don't feel like the dude who wet him was wrong. That's just my opinion. That's what the comment section's for. Y'all drop it in the comment sections. Let me know what y'all think. Okay? I'm going to wrap this video on up. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I always say, y'all make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button on the way out. If you didn't hit it on the way in, I know a lot of people be forgetting to hit the button, but it is what it is. I'm not going to do like these other people and buy subscribers or nothing like that, though. We're going to just keep grinding from the way up. You feel me? But I appreciate y'all watching. Like I always say, y'all make sure y'all keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers, people with pull out goals, people who be lying and shit on YouTube, anything for views, anything for clout, people who weren't gang members when I was in prison with them, what they claim they're the biggest gang banger there was. You keep all them out your circle. That's the same thing I do. Positivity goes a whole lot farther. I appreciate it. Like I always say, until next time, this the one and only Frog.